Before the fall, a lot was made of the many technological tools available to groups to keep them organized. It turned out that many of these innovations were counterproductive. By the end, it turned out that nearly all of our time was wasted by managerial procedures. When we began to rebuild, we reclaimed our productivity. We had to. By the time society began to take hold again, we were limited by a lack of the basics. We may not have needed middle management anymore, but we sure as hell could have used telephones.
Welcome back. This episode is going to be called Walking the Line. We did a little research, added some numbers together. This is apparently episode 33. Fuck's sake, man, episode 33. How did that happen? I remember like episode 1, the game barely worked and begging the players to play along, and we just roll dice and pretend we knew what we were doing. And episode 33. All right,
it's exactly the same. No, wait, hold on.
God, I hope not. Let's go ahead and introduce our characters. Let's go ahead and start. I think we should always start with Torg, because Torg is clearly first, foremost, certainly the most obvious. Like when you approach the group, I don't think you'd be like, who's the skinny wizard looking dude? I think immediately you'd be like, who is that?
What is that? Yeah.
Torg is Torg. Torg understands. Torg draw attention. Torg can't help. Torg big, strong, green. Torg is Torg. Nobody likes Torg. Torg only Torg. Torg will destroy you utterly and completely if Torg deem it necessary. But Torg at heart, all love.
I think the second thing your eye would be drawn to would be the green, fashionable fellow hanging from the telephone pole.
Erik is shorter than Torg by about 10 times. And as mentioned before, is green. He is not quite a dwarf, but he's not a dwarf either. He's kind of short, kind of barrel-chested, hairy, green, resplendent in his purple jacket and whatever 60s mod wear he seems to be wearing that particular moment. You'll also notice that he's got a pride-colored, rainbow-colored shotgun sticking out of the back of his shoulder, of his back holster, and that's Karen. That's his wife. He's also got this handy little third eye that's he wears a patch on to stop from seeing in 5 dimensions. And that's pretty much it. He's a pretty convivial young gentleman.
So was it just my computer, or did the lag make you do a my wife joke? Because I got a little bit of a hang there.
I think it was all of us. He wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's certainly not Mike's stock and trade. He's far more clever than that. But I think you accidentally, the internet wanted you to tell a my wife joke.
Next time.
Third up would be the tall gentleman previously not described. That's you.
Okay, this was the tall. I was like, I don't know, like in comparison, Lord Navad is taller probably than Agent Goldwater. So that would be me, Lord Navad. Hello, I'm Lord Navad. I'm a wizard. You can tell by looking into my skull-shaped pupils that is the case. Also, I have a deep connection here to Bastion, one that runs supernaturally through my body and connects me to this place in ways that I don't fully understand, but will be explored probably in future episodes.
And fourth up, and only last, because my sense of him is he would regularly kind of be off to the side or not, unobtrusive until it's time to be obtrusive, stealing a Roadhouse meme and repurposing it a bit. Would be Special Agent Goldwater.
Hello, I'm IRS Special Agent Goldwater. I am an IRS Special Agent. I travel through the wastelands, getting people to pay their taxes or giving them their return if they have not enough to pay taxes. If they do not make enough money to pay taxes, I ensure that they have the money that they need and that the communities have the money that they need to rebuild. The IRS is not just about taking money, it's about ensuring that the future has a foundation to be built upon. And we cannot do that without enforcing existing tax code. Pay your taxes or you'll get audited.
All right. The leaders of the various factions and settlements allied against Curse have been formulating a plan to take him out. It's been determined that the biggest problem is coordination. The national telephone network went down when the bombs fell. Attempts to restore even small segments of it have failed. We've discussed a few times how this setting is retro future from the early 80s. I started a new group in person this weekend, and we came up with it's the world of Mondo 2000. If you remember that, it's like if that magazine was hit by a bomb and came to life, like a lot of the articles in Mondo 2000 are this, like kind of close, but generally often very wrong. But that said, one of the reasons that didn't work is one thing that is going to be aligned with our current present is they had fiber optic networks. So just trying to put them back into function without all those connections, without the proper computer switching, you can't actually just plug those together and get a phone network. So that's been down. Technical advisors provided by the New America movement have realized the power lines that crisscross most of Texan can be repurposed to carry a signal the Allies can use to provide primitive but reliable telephone service. Even better, the signals can be encoded so that intercepted messages can't be understood. Only phones at receiver stations will work. So this is another case of being nuked back into the Western Age. So this is slightly better than having teletype or the
Telegraph?
thank you, or very, very early telephone, right? Because if you're sending signal over those lines, the result is going to be very much a, come quickly, I need you kind of a signal. But we have the additional ability to encode that signal. The White Rabbit and Grendel have returned to the respective people who have been tasked with recon. So Grendel took his forces with him, and Karen has gone to make contact with effectively the revolution that she's tied into. The goal is to figure out where Curse's forces are and in what numbers. Bastion has been left in the capable hands of Winona and Dee. Dee is particularly interested in, she has a new robot buddy. So the two of them are getting to know each other and keeping the town running. The group, you four, have been tasked with walking the line and reconnecting gaps. So feel free to make Man in Black jokes. I went and especially wore all black, just for the Johnny Cash of it all. Yeah. So you are literally walking the line. So you know where you need to get these connections. You have a work truck, several reels of cable, tools, and some small coder boxes. And
I'm sorry, did you say a twerk truck?
It is now.
All right.
It's a
It
work
sounded
truck.
like you said a twerk truck. That was one of those lag things that caused the joke to happen.
It's a work truck, but with a big window at back, so you can bring the boys to the yard if necessary.
There's a lot of junk in the trunk.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, we're in a Johnny Cash title
Yes,
but we are a Glenn Campbell song.
correct.
We are the linemen of the county.
We're the Wichita linemen.
Yeah,
We are
we
the
drive the
linemen of the
main line,
county.
we drive the main
Exactly.
road. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And, before you left, you all agreed it's very important that Curse not know what you're up to. So
mhm.
even though you have the additional protection of having the encoders, it's best if he doesn't have any idea that you basically have telephones. So, and to go really briefly over this, because I've hit the point before, but it's important to hit again. It's come up like, how do we communicate in Nuked? You have your cheap ass, teenager birthday present walkie-talkies, but they're not like military walkie-talkies. The range on those is super shit. Obviously, anything that would have been dependent on satellites won't work. So a lot of things like the kind of military phones that would have been effectively endless range walkie-talkies, those won't work. There are higher distance walkie-talkies. There are things that operate wirelessly. There weren't a lot of them around, so getting them is, something you have to go kind of quest for, because high demand, low, and also in 100 years, most of that more fragile shit is just broken down. So the advantage, so basically the situation you've been playing in, in this game, you've been playing in this situation for over a year now, is people send messages. They get on, mutant horses with beaks like Ukla the Mock Knight, and you send messages. So generally you can't call your allies and make plans to coordinate strikes and defense. So the whole point of this move is, if you can set up those receiver stations where your allies are, you'll be able to get a jump on Curse's movements and set up a much better defense and an ability to strike back. So we're going to begin. The four of you in a work truck, the Torg truck. We're going to say on the side, it says graffiti, it says Torg truck on it. I picture that really like the 80s where everything is made to metalize for no good reason, and a lot of the bright blue glow to everything. There's a font that looks like that. Who's driving?
Would it
Either
be
me or Navad?
probably you did a lot of Goldwater did a lot of the driving last time, but I feel like I should drive, in that I'm way more useless in car combat than anyone else.
Okay.
Like if something were to happen, I don't have any ranged weapons to deal with anybody or anything like that. So I think Navad is driving.
Somebody with landlore should be in the navigate, next to them, because you're going to literally have like old Texan gas station maps, stuff that the New America people provided that show where they've been able to figure out that there are active lines. They're just wanting you to check before you set up the receiver stations. So who's got a decent landlore?
I have 3.
Torg's a 4.
Torg.
Okay, so it sounds like
Hey, also Torg and Navad sitting in the front of this truck is a very cute
I
image
love it.
to me. I don't know, like Erik and Goldwater in the back.
And so those of you in back, you have been in vehicles a few times in the game, and the other times they've largely been modified for combat. So this is the first time where there's no port up top. There's no holes for shooting out. The best you could do with tools is remove the back window so you can shoot out the back of the thing. But there's really, it's just a work van. What you gonna,
right.
or if you're feeling super Tanuki nutsy, you could theoretically cling to the damn top, but that's obviously risky.
So it's like a straight up like a Econoline van, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I picture
Okay.
it literally, considering they must exist, they probably found a legit utilities truck. So this is one of those. Like, it has the right tools, it had the cables already in it. They went raided a utility station.
So far as side windows go, are they the sort of like plastic
Those
push
shitty
outs?
little, yeah.
Okay, so you could get a gun
Yeah.
out that window, right?
Or you could butt those out. I mean, if you wanted to, and you'd have like the equivalent of a postmodern arrow slit, right? If you like just murdered those portholes, you'd have a gun port on each side.
Okay.
So you just take to them with some big wrenches. Well, you've got a Torg.
Yeah.
Like Torg could just go up and not a problem.
Yeah.
Torg wrench.
Torg,
They could just
wrench.
tear them out with one hand.
Torg power.
Torg power. So you go out the side of the truck and add with graffiti powered by Torg.
Foot pounds of Torg.
This whole trip should take only a day. You should get back to Bastion after nightfall, unfortunately, but in that one day. Because like we've discussed a couple of times, the problem is when you're driving, you can hopefully go 30, 40 miles an hour, depending on how fucked up the roads are. By foot, this could be days. So you're going to have to very actively drive to try to keep if it's road trip time, right?
Yeah.
So you want to keep up your speed to make sure you hit your points. Anything else to progress to set up, or do you want to just get right in? What do they like the YouTubers always say? Do you want to just get right into it?
The only other thing I wanted to do is Goldwater has set up use some of the netting, like the tool netting, to make an ad hoc hammock in the back.
Right.
Sitting in a hammock as opposed to sitting in a seat.
Do you want it
Is
to be
it
a hammock?
because I smell bad, or
No, I just want to relax.
Do you want the hammock to be set so you could be looking out the window in it, or a
No.
lay down relax?
I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to relax.
So I'm going to insist that he's got the little book of calm.
Okay.
So yeah, he's Erik. He's trying to be chill AF.
I get it.
All right, off you go. We begin in the morning. You depart Bastion and hit the road. Up front, we have the I think very cinematic pair of Navad and Torg. Navad, you're probably a little distracted because you're needing to keep up a decent speed,
Mhm.
and the highways, as we discussed, are largely broken. So you're having to kind of combat drive.
Swerve around stuff and avoid major potholes. And
Is Torg quiet or chatty?
Well, Torg in general does like to chat.
So Shannon, as Navad's driving,
Mhm.
all focused, could I have a sample of the not conducive to intense focus conversation coming out of Torg?
Oh, yes. Torg does have question though,
Yeah.
meant to ask and then forgot. Baby Rip, stay behind, grown up Rip, or are they
Stay
with
behind, stay behind. It's
me?
definitely set up the hunting area
Torg?
around, and actually a couple of times during that fight to defend Bastion did eat some of the forces. The other thing is we didn't have a chance in game to go back. Once you go back and you try to pick up certain things or find some of the people that might have run, some of them were just gone and there were blobs of blood. And that vehicle, that rocket thing, was all fucked up, and then Rip just tore it apart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So just the chassis with the wheels and the little back truck mount thing was left. And there's a lot of, like in Evil Dead 2, the bridge is just all kind of like that.
Gotcha.
So Rip is on duty. He is on guard duty around Bastion.
Okay. Torg just wasn't sure if Rip ever, was left guard duty and had a break to be,
On something like this, you wouldn't want him in the car trying to keep up while you're trying to go 30 to 40 miles an hour. Yeah, if you had
Torg just curious.
oh, for sure. It's something else. Where it's more like we have a raid, we're on foot. Like maybe you could talk, you like, Rip, come on, and that might work.
Oh,
But for
well,
this-
really, it was just whether or not Rip was with Torg. Because if Rip's not with Torg, Torg's gonna be talking about Rip.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, as we've determined, like I would like that entire conversation happened, but with just no Mike Nystul, the game master there, but Torg was having that conversation while Navad was driving. So is Baby Rip with us? Like that, is Baby Rip come along? Like that whole thing, and Navad is just like, look, Torg, we've gone over this. Sometimes Rip stays back at the house, stays back in Bastion.
Torg, not child. Torg understand Baby Rip have job. Torg just wondering if maybe Baby Rip be treated like rest of us and, get to decide when want to, rip it up elsewhere. That's all Torg say.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I get it. It's I think that should come with us when possible. But also Torg, you talk to yourself a lot, and then you talk to me a lot, and sometimes it's hard to know which of us you're talking to, yourself or to me or both or to Rip, who's not even here.
Torg not even sure Torg self.
Fair.
Sometimes Torg confused Torg. Torg brain work too fast for Torg to keep up with Torg.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, do you remember when I had the elk man guy inside of me that I could turn into the
Torg wish Torg not remember.
right?
But
Well, that was
Torg
kind of
remember.
that was I guess maybe a little bit like that too, where I didn't know if that was me or not me. So maybe we're not so different.
Torg not evil though, and Torg still Torg when Torg talk. But Torg, Torg not sure how to say without sound mean.
I was kind of a jerk when I was that guy. Yeah. Okay.
I need a drive test against difficulty of 3, please.
A drive test against difficulty of 3, and I am rolling 3 dice. So I got, look at that, 5, a 6, and a 6. So I'll keep going. That's a success right there. That is, oh man, I got 5 successes on 3 dice.
So that's an exceptional
You
success.
drove the shit out of that.
I
Whatever
just
you're
drove-
driving, you just really drove it.
I'm like got like one hand on the wheel, and I'm like, like really just like cruising it.
Just drifting all over the place.
Yeah, what's
I
up?
think we spend a little money on like hops over the broken terrain. So unfortunately, Goldwater, his priority does not seem to be gentle driving.
Okay.
So your hammock is doing
I
a lot
gotta
of it.
figure this happen. I'm gonna put a boot on the roof
Gosh,
to try and like stabilize myself a little bit.
I need a notice check against a 4 from Erik, please.
All right. Let me see how many notices I need to get. I got 4 dice for noticing.
Yep.
With which to notice. And I got 2 5s and 2 2s.
Okay, so it's going to be 2 scores, which is going to be a success. You see up ahead, they're kind of busy. Like Torg is chatting with Navad. Navad seems to be taking out, I don't know if it's frustration, but like to stay focused, he's power driving. So as Torg is chatting away, the driving gets a little more like Nitro Stunt Circus-y. Goldwater's trying to get some rest. So you're the one that's actually like looking out, and you see up ahead coming down the highway is a group of maybe 10. They have, these are wasters. So they have mismatched clothing, layered clothing. They don't look like raiders to you. Raiders, as opposed to wasters, raiders have a higher proportion of armor and would have
Right.
obvious weapons. They're also carrying probably possessions in shopping carts. So, and these also don't look like scavengers, because scavengers dress a little more lean, a little more for climbing in and out, and their stuff is normally not in carts, it's carried in tight packs. Your guess is some kind of refugees.
So I sort of casually tap Torg on the shoulder in the front seat and point out what I'm looking at. You see that?
Org C.
It doesn't look so dangerous, but I figured I'd point it out.
Torg agree. Torg wonder what Navad think?
How far away are they?
They're a little less than a quarter mile. You could get off the highway and avoid encountering them completely, or you could choose to drive by and encounter them.
Well, what do you guys think? I feel like if you don't think they look dangerous, we should maybe just kind of try to keep driving as if we're, normal folks rather than hiding.
Torg feel even if look dangerous, we just keep drive like we not know they dangerous, and maybe they leave alone.
Okay. Should we slow down at all, or should we keep going this pace? I feel like maybe we keep going this pace until they show us something else.
So Goldwater,
I feel like we don't need to change anything.
Goldwater,
Okay.
give me an awareness test, please.
Okay. 4 dice.
This is against 3. It's not hard.
Okay. 2 successes. No, sorry, 3 successes.
So that's 3 scores, and that's an exceptional success. These are not combatants. You're not seeing any armor. There's 1 or 2 weapons, but they're not carried like somebody that has training and easy access to the weapon. Like there's one person's got a rifle, but they've got like a rope, and like taking it off to use it would be like they'd be dead before it came out. You think that a few of them are also wounded.
They seem harmless, and in fact, may have some wounded amongst them. Additionally, I have some forms I'd like them to fill out.
And for any listeners that play Nuked, and if you don't, you should. Difference between notice and awareness is awareness tends to be combat, situational awareness, and those kind of details. Whereas notice is there's a lot of overlap, but awareness is, are we in danger? Notice is, do I notice the big raccoon? Like they're different.
Yeah.
Right.
Navad, do you slow it all, or do you just keep barreling down the highway?
Well, so Goldwater just let us know that he thinks that they're wounded.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should, not that any of us have any particularly good ability to heal folks or help them out, but maybe we should make sure that they're not in super dire situation.
That would be my preference. We should at least check.
Okay. We can slow down as we get close.
So there's literally a first aid box in the van. Now, obviously, it doesn't have the same supplies it had 100 years ago, but a few basics were loaded in when they gave you the van. So you do have, in addition to what you normally carry, you do have a supply of stuff that's in the van. So you slow down and come alongside. They slow, they see you. It's like 3 of them that have weapons. Take them out, but in a non-aggressive way, more like, we don't know what this is.
Right.
It says Torque van. We don't know what that is. So there's a rifle and there's a shotgun that's like a janky tube gun. So it's not a legit shotgun. It's just metal tubes, and they've rigged a firing pin. So it's very Fallout, Old West, like it might work or it might just explode.
Right.
And a couple of blades, but they're just very clearly the tone is exhausted and worried. So they're very just like tense for whatever. You can almost see in their eyes, what fresh hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
So you pull up.
Yeah, I'll grab the first aid kit and my shotgun.
So you swing out the back.
Yeah, I go out the back. I'm gonna hold the shotgun in a way that's like not my fingers on the trigger.
So just
Holding it in one hand.
very, very Ash Evil Dead. It's just, this is my boomstick, but it's
A
not
little lower than that, but yeah.
Okay. Of the group, a goat beastie matron, so a goat animal person with big horns and lots of gray ogre hair, comes forward. Good day.
Well, I'm IRS Special Agent Goldwater. It seems you may have some injured among you.
We've bandaged them up. We don't have any bolts.
I don't want your volts. I want to know if you need help.
She turns. Give me a persuade against a 4 to project a welcoming and friendly demeanor.
Here we go.
Goldwater specialty.
Is this persuade, you said?
Yeah, please.
I got 1.
Okay, partial success. That's fine. Partial success will do it, but they seem, with a partial, they don't like let down their defensive, but they will interact, right? So she steps a little closer. We're on our way to someplace called Bastion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
That's where we're coming from.
How much farther?
By foot, you've probably got a day and a half.
All right. Well, if we can get there, we were living, squatting in a pawn shop. Pretty good place to squat, by the way, if you have a choice. I recommend pawn shop. These raiders attacked. I think it was that curse fella. They had a symbol, was a chain with a fist, kind of like a symbol an angry 12-year-old would make with hormone problems.
That's accurate.
We lost 6 friends in the attack. They bought us the time to leave. We took what we could, but they took everything of value. They were there to resupply, and resupply they did.
That sounds like Curse. We've dealt with him a number of times.
I've heard it's safer in Bastion. Is that true?
It is.
Who should I talk to?
D.
D. Is D a nice feller?
She is a nice person.
Good. And
She may be one of the nicest people.
She smiles a little. I'm glad to hear it. Too often when, no offense, sir, but in my experience, sometimes when the boys are leading the party, you get more curse and less D.
You're not wrong.
You seem like a good boy. I have some extra candy. Would you like a peppermint candy, Agent?
I would. Yes, I would.
And she pulls out, it's modern, like it's not 100-year-old candy. She's obviously made candy, and it's got a little peppermint stripe in it.
Mhm.
Here you go.
Aw.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm afraid we're probably late on our taxes. We've never been visited by an IRS agent. I do know what one is. We were visited by a mail lady.
Mm-hmm.
She never came back, though.
I am going to give you some forms to fill out. You can hang on to them until you get to Bastion. Report your income. I'm assuming it will be low, if not a loss for the year. If it's a loss, you won't owe anything, and in fact, you may get a refund.
Oh, well, all right. And this is the way this new America is going to work.
At least this part, yes.
I'm glad to hear it. I miss there being something more than just your people, you know?
The foundation of a society is based on income and taxation, and then the use of that taxed income to
smiles broadly.
build.
I think maybe I come from different people than you do, but I'd like to give you something else, sir.
Certainly.
She gives you a big hug. She pulls back. I don't think you get enough of those, and I think you deserve them. And she actually tweaks your cheek a little bit.
I do not get enough of those, and I do appreciate it.
And one of the people with her says, Mama Easter is pretty great, huh?
Yeah.
We're lucky to have her. Two of my brothers laid down their lives to make sure she got out of that place.
Well, I think Bastion needs people like you too.
Is anyone gonna do anything about those bastards?
It's already started.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, you say a day and a half on foot, huh?
Day and a half, depending on how quickly you go. Maybe closer to 2 with your wounded.
We should be fine. I don't think they're coming. They weren't hunting us. They just wanted supplies, and they were not polite about how they took what they needed.
No.
Mother Easter hands you a little, and this is 100 years old. It's like a cloth handkerchief, and she's zip tied the top, and it's a little bag of peppermints.
Okay.
Share these with your friends, will you?
I will.
All right, boys. We have you heard the man, the special agent. We have forms to fill out and 2 days to travel, but we're almost there.
Stay safe.
And they wave and they get back on the road.
I'll go back in the truck. I'm sure everybody heard all that.
We were kind of like hanging out near the van. I was anyway.
Yeah.
They gave us some peppermint candies. I'd like to make sure we all get as many as we'd like.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd go for one.
I put it in the little
Torg-
cup holder in the front.
Torg is as soon as Agent Goldwater comes in, Torg is welling up a little bit. And then Torg just like goes up to Agent Goldwater and just goes, Torg, sorry. Torg, not hug enough. Torg, be more considerate from now on, and gives Agent Goldwater a really, really big hug. And says,
Torg, you're laying on me.
Torg appreciates Goldwater.
I appreciate you too, Torg. You're a good-hearted person.
Camera
Torg, say
pulls back.
thanks.
The van pulls away from the refugees. Is there in this during this next segment? Is there conversation in the back of the van?
Yeah.
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 So I guess Goldwater is still trying to relax and read his book or whatever, and I kind of tap the side of him. I hate to interrupt while you're trying to relax, but feels good to be good, doesn't it?
Yes. The goal was never just to hand out forms and harangue people into filling them out. The goal was always to do something for people in an efficient way. And to do good also means is ensuring that the people who do bad pay a price.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
We all know that. We always have.
it just seems sometimes, or it seemed, I should say, it's been different, but it seemed that I was an annoyance.
Man, perception is a motherfucker. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what you seem like to me? And I bet what you seem like to all the rest of us? You seem like a guy who's got your shit all pretty well worked out. You know what you want. You know where you're headed. Everywhere we go, you seem like you're the first person to talk. I would say you're a pretty natural born leader. But I know what it's like to feel like something and have other people think something else of you. I'm just here to tell you that I'm not really much of a hugger, but you're all right.
Can I tell you something, Erik?
Sure.
I'm I'm jealous of you in many ways. You have had experiences with other people that had meaning to them and still do. And I have had very few of those. The IRS training does not allow for much human interaction. It does not allow for romance. It does not allow for relationships beyond the practical.
I appreciate that. Let me just say this. How long have we been traveling together now?
A year.
You got some pretty good relationships right here. And back in the city, in Winona, and D.
It's true.
Up until very recently, the only thing that romance ever brought me was sadness. But I understand that sometimes it is better to have loved and lost than not to have loved at all. But you love what you do, and you have a purpose. And that is just as much love as you could possibly handle.
I don't know, Erik. Sometimes I think I was built to be a machine. And I'm
Nah.
starting to think that that's not enough.
I understand what that's like, man.
I know you do.
I met Jesus.
I know that too.
Freaked the fuck out of me. You know why?
I don't.
It's not because I believe in Jesus. And it's not because of what he said to me. It's because I went through my life for so long thinking that things that I didn't understand were just pointless. And they weren't for me. And then all of a sudden, one of the big ones just appeared right in front of my face. And it made me think to myself, maybe everything's real. Or maybe nothing's real. But either way, I better let down and let go of the things that are causing me to not be able to feel anything at all, because life is short.
Definitely something to think about.
Navad,
Sorry to bother you.
No bother.
up ahead, the first fallen cable. So the van pulls up and you're muted.
Shannon, you muted yourself.
Navad's cable is not working. There it is.
My cable, guys, sorry. I was caught up in my own thinking. We've got a fallen cable we got to take care of. First one.
So you pull up. There's some stuff in the area, but there's not a lot of stuff around the pole and the cable. And it's just a pole. So clearly you're going to have to use the gear in here. Now, obviously, for somebody like Erik, you climb up poles like this all the damn time. Not a problem. What is your plan? Do you just send Erik up the pole to make the repair? Does more than one person go up? Like, how are you going to play this?
Not a lot of room up there.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I mean, I'm happy to go.
yeah.
Are the
Oh,
are
sorry,
the
go-
cables live? Do we?
They are not. These are power cables, but there's not power going through them. There'll be a small amount of energy when they're used as basically Ursat's phone lines, but these are not worrying about. And you can check that fairly easy with the equipment here to make sure they're dead. But generally, there's been no power in any of these.
Okay.
So they strike me like when you hook up a speaker and you touch the end of the wire and it makes that little sound.
No.
Okay.
The system we're using is very much like, remember those kits for putting wireless through your house wiring?
Yes.
Where you access the internet and we use the wiring in your house that way. This system
Carrier
works,
current.
it kind of works like that.
Yeah, telephone lines are not powered really.
Well, these are not telephone lines.
Okay, gotcha.
These are the
These
power
are
lines.
power lines to run the telephones.
The
Okay,
telephone lines in setting were fiber optic and
Fiber
didn't
optics.
make any power. These are
Gotcha.
legitimately like lots and lots of copper, and you can run things through them.
gotcha. So these are a little dangerous for sure.
They
Okay.
are a little, but as long as you're careful and you make Mike's right. As long as you're like, nope, nothing's, my hair is not standing on end and the voltimeter isn't like pegging, I think we're okay.
All right.
And that's the one only use of the word pegging for today, by the way.
all right.
Okay.
Fair
I
enough.
think we should send up Erik, and the rest of us should post up on the top of the truck.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I can take care of myself, but if you guys
No.
want to cover me, that's fine.
This doesn't have we don't have like a cherry picker on this thing, do we?
No, you'd have like a second set of like spike glove things in the harness. to be
Okay.
able to go up. So you could
You
put a
could
second
climb
one
up it.
go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. There are cherry picker units. All this is not one of them.
Gotcha.
Torg, do you want to be on top of the truck or next to it? Because of your
Torg was just thinking that Torg may be too heavy for top of truck and would probably be standing on the ground.
and you're generally a hand to hand if combat came down, right? Whereas
Right.
the two
And
on top of the
Also, if for some reason Erik was to fall, Torg could safely catch them.
I'm very much picturing the Princess Bride moments with Torg catching Erik. I really want to see that as a picture.
Mhm.
Okay, you begin to do this. And because of all the bonus you have for climbing, Erik, no roll required. Like
Okay.
time. Are you going to use the harness just in case?
No, there's no point. Those things normally have the hooks at the top, so
Yeah.
Well,
there's the
I
one
can.
you- trees. There's the lesser version. There's the leather strap that you do this with, and that's useful. You could lean back and fire this way if you wanted to, but you're pretty good at this.
Yeah, and I'm faster unencumbered, I think. So probably get to the top and then what is it? Wrap the wire with another wire.
Well, you're
Just
going to have
kind of splice it together
Yeah, you'll take
like a crimper.
a thin rope, and then once you're up, you'll pull up the cable, and then you're going to hook them up there and reconnect them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. So no roll necessary. He starts up, and he goes up with the light rope, and down below, probably Torg ties off the fallen cable. There might be a section that's fucked up. You would have been told by one of the techs how to prepare a broken section. You've got cabling in the van. Basically, you do lineman work, right? It's going to take you about a half an hour to make this change. I'm going to need Goldwater and Nevada. Who has the better notice check?
My notice is a 3. So I'm guessing
It's
Okay.
me.
So you
Goldwater
go ahead with
is
a
better.
bonus. You're working together. So you go ahead and make the roll. Goldwater, an extra die, and this is against a 4.
Yeah, one success, one score. I mean,
Okay, one score is a partial success. That means you see largish creatures moving with some stealth, right? So like probably predators or scavengers staying partially hidden and kind of at a distance, but approaching.
Erik, how much time you need?
It's going to be
Probably-
about 10 minutes or so.
Another 10 minutes or so.
I'll point out what's coming, and then I'll let a shotgun blast go and see if that scares them off.
So what was coming up was a pack of large, gaunt mutant coyotes. They are, in my notes, parenthetically, easy to scare off.
Ah,
In the Choose Your Own Adventure version of this game, you have just chosen, if you pick shoot your shotgun, turn to page 142, and they just scatter.
I nailed it.
Oh, great.
Exactly the right thing to do, yeah.
Good job.
So
Very afraid.
Nice one.
Hey.
Erik up top with Torg helping from below. You get the cable up there, you get it connected, tied off. You use the little scanner they gave you to make sure everything's connected, and it will carry the current you need. It will, and you're done. So you climb back on down, and part one of your task, if you're a video game, like the little bloop on your task meter runs up, and off you go. Does everybody stay in the same arrangement? Is it still Torg and Nevada up front?
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
assume.
Yeah.
All right.
Nevada's still driving at the least.
I need, and are you back to trying to get some winks, Goldwater, or are you more awake? Well, it's not entirely about being awake. It's bigger than that.
No, I'm still relaxing.
Okay. So Erik, give me a notice check against a 5, please.
Oh, it'd be hard to notice. I have one success or one score.
So 1 score is a partial success. There's something moving up there. So part of the problem with the van is looking up is hard, right? It's a hard top. So
Right.
do you want to like stop the van, get out and look, or do you want to tell the people up front to like crane out and look?
I'd rather keep moving, so I'll tell Nevada, hey, there's something in the sky.
All right.
Are you doing that, or maybe Torg that doesn't have the steering wheel?
Probably. I mean, Nevada's gonna like look out a little bit, I'm guessing, but yeah, it's probably better for Torg to do the complete,
So Torg, give me a notice check against a 5, please.
Torg.
Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Oh, yikes. Torg's notice is not great. Torg not notice well.
Uh-oh.
Torg get 4 though. Torg partial.
Okay. So what did you roll?
4.
For what?
A 4.
Okay, so if I give you a difficulty of 5, every die that rolls 5 or better scores.
Oh.
Right. I know. I got a
Oh.
4.
Okay, so
That was as bad. That was as good as Torg got.
So partial,
Yeah.
Right.
partial is when you
That's-
get 1 score. So
Oh,
you,
right.
you
Oh, I
got-
thought partial was close.
no. So you got enough. You got I don't know
So-
what now.
Torg gets a big fat nut.
So I
Like
need
looked like it went that way, and you looked this way.
just in case,
This is what Torg got.
42, the answer. So Nevada, do a notice down 1 die against a difficulty of 5, which is
Wow.
the I don't think so roll
Notice down a die.
against a 5. Yeah.
Okay, against the 5. Oh, nothing. I have no idea what happened. Like
That's-
I could barely stick my head out the window.
and the only person who has not looked would be Goldwater. Are you looking, or are you just kind of aware things are going on?
I'll lean my head towards the back window.
That's true. You're already laying back. Go ahead and make a notice check against a 5.
Okay. Let's notice something, everybody.
Let's
Come on.
Why harder to roll?
Notice.
Hey, got a 1. Oh, I got a 6, so that's 1 success, and I can re-roll that.
Yep.
And
6
a
is
5.
always-
2 scores.
2 scores, baby.
Success. So that
You
makes-
noticed it.
I love it.
Narrative
We're all
says-
looking, actively looking, and Goldwater's in the back, like, oh,
He's
hey guys,
leaning
check it
back
out.
with a book or something, and he looks up. There's a drone up there, Goldwater.
It's a drone.
It's too far away to get any details, but it's a drone, and you think it's keeping up with you, so it's monitoring you.
Can I
And
borrow your
that's
scope,
the
Erik?
reason why it was hard to spot, is because it's right overhead.
Can you borrow my scope? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, he twists the sight off of the top of Karen and hands it to him.
All you can see at this range, even through the scope, blue casing. It appears reasonably advanced, so it's not like a super jank job. It's like formed plastic, fairly sleek.
Is it? It's not from that warehouse, is it?
No,
Okay.
so it's not a Myrmidon system,
Right. It's
and the ones from the warehouse would be shitty hobbyist things.
okay. It's a blue. It's has a blue case on it. I can't tell anything else. I'll hand you back scope.
Any idea how far away?
It is at distant range.
It's pretty far up there,
Should
and
we
it
take a
is
shot?
trailing us.
Yeah, you totally can. You would want them to move the van so that your side of the van will be facing the direction you're shooting.
Can I get the gun up that far out the window? Like
In a-
at an up angle?
Yeah, you're right. You probably have to get out, but you can
You have
tell
to
them-
stop, right?
What about if we open the back doors?
I mean, you'd have to have like mutant goblin monkey arms to pull that shit off.
Well, imagine for a moment.
So do you want to keep moving and do the more cinematic lead out and fire up?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be a shoot against a 5.
All right, let's see here. Shoot. I shoot pretty well, as it turns out.
And I'll,
I have 6 dice.
I'm not trying to add anything to his roll, but I'll just brace him and hold onto his belt so he doesn't fall out.
Thank you. Oh yeah. I got 3 scores.
Okay, so that means you're going to make your damage roll, and its defense against firearms is a 4.
Okay. So hold please. 1, 2, 3, 4 scores.
And what's the power?
Oh shit. Power is
So 3 or
3.
4. Okay, so
3.
you multiply the scores by the power for your damage, so that's 12 points.
12.
Way the hell up there. 1 shot, 1 kill, no exceptions. There's an explosion in the sky, and there's a rain of parts.
Can we retrieve some of the parts to try and figure out where it comes from?
You absolutely can. So you would like yell Nevad, like, what do you
Stop!
Oh, that's a
Stop
good one.
Stop the van.
Stop the truck!
He nailed it.
So we then do a crossfade to a montage of picking through the wasteland for little bits. And Erik, we have you pull up a piece of blue casing. Its casing was kind of a light blue, and there's a logo on the piece you're holding that shows a man with a light bulb head, and on his shirt is the letter Q.
Hmm.
And this does not look like a painted, like a tag. It looks like this is a vinyl sticker applied to this to this drum.
Gotcha.
And it looks to you from the bits you gather, none of you is really a tech, but it looked like it was reasonably advanced, had some kind of surveillance package maybe, but you don't see any weapons.
This thing looks pretty high tech. Q.
Huh. I've never seen that before. Do any of you guys know what this is?
No. Although Curse tends to attract people with interesting nicknames and logos.
It's true.
Let's just take some of this with us and
Okay. I
maybe-
take it you're going to take at least the piece with the logo.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there a hard drive in there somewhere that was recording all this stuff?
There's no local storage now.
Okay.
Make a D6 roll. High is good for you. 1 is bad for you.
3.
There is a little, again, you're not a tech, but you do know, probably from conversations with B, that there are little bits of circuitry that hold some information. So it's probably not a drive, but so you have a little piece that maybe has some data in it. But you would want to get that to like a tech bench with people with the right tools and training.
Okay. Well, we'll keep it.
Cool.
Clearly, we'll keep that part.
You can call it a qubit.
Ooh.
Bit. Early afternoon, you're making good time on the highway, and then you encounter a recent sinkhole. I need a drive test against a 3 from Nevada.
Got it. 2 successes, 2 scores. So I got a 5 and a 5. So
And
that's
that's success. So you avoid plummeting into the sinkhole.
good.
So we have the more dramatic cinematic, like pulling up right at the edge, and kind of looking over. You're going to have to go around. You're also going to have to choose one of the backup cabling routes not marked on one of your maps. So you're going to have to go cross country for a little bit, because obviously the cables in this area are all just fucked.
Well, I think this thing is probably sturdy enough that we could go off road for a while.
Yep. With drive tests like you've been making, no problem. All right, you
Twerk
spin around.
it.
You twerk, you're twerking the whole van. All right, need another drive test against a 4.
Against
This
the
is
4.
Avoid breakdown because you're having to drive pretty hard.
Ooh, look at that, baby. A 6 and a 5. So I'll re-roll the 6, and that was it. I got 2 successes though.
Which is a success. So you do not break down.
Yes.
It is a couple of moments where you get like, it overheats a little, like you get a little steam from under the hood. Tell that you're a couple times you bottom out and there's that makes your heart sink feeling when the bottom of the vehicle is not supposed to kiss the ground, right?
It's
like
not
that.
supposed to make those scrapey sounds.
Yeah. But you make that fine. While this is happening, you're driving this segment. Dark clouds begin to gather in the sky. This is not unnaturally fast. It's just during the course of the day, clouds are gathering. What is unusual is that flashes of purple suggest an electrical or possibly rad storm.
Looks like a rad storm. You guys are gonna have to.
Yeah.
What's that?
Less concerned to the goblin.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to stay in the twerk truck.
I'd assume in the first aid kit you'd have some of those foil blankets, which if it came down to a red storm, or at least a level of protection.
Yeah.
All right. So because you had to basically drive off the main course, you pass through what was once an inhabited area, which is now ruins, and I need a notice check from the Torg against 4.
As we established, Torg's notice is not great.
That's a no. Okay. Totally fine. I need another notice from Erik, please, against a 4.
Okay. I got a 5. One singular 5.
Okay, so partial. There is something moving around with these buildings.
Hey, I hate to sound alarmist again, but there's something moving around in these buildings.
Can you tell what it is?
No,
Could it be?
I would have needed at least another 4 for that, I think.
Well, what do we want to do?
How bad is the storm, Mike?
It's like Texas, where the air, you can feel it, and it gets a little moist, and it gets visibly a little dark. After this bit, yes.
And are we close to one of the power cables that we need to, or can we just successfully drive by this experience?
You need to go through this area. One possibility is you could ask Nevad to hit it hard and just get us out of here.
Hey man, all things considered, I don't really care what's in those buildings. We should just get clear of them as quick as possible.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
I need another drive against a 4.
4 and a 5. Look at that.
Okay.
2 scores.
As you kick it into let's go faster, you go to let's go faster mode. And then knowing that you're about to pull out, the dozens of ghouls come out of the buildings and try to rush the van, but you're able to steer clear. Does anyone take pot shots at the ghouls, or do you care?
No, it's not worth the ammo.
The ghouls in general, in the world of Nuked, the ghouls are the saddest of all the things that we encounter. And they also are so easy to take out that it makes me a little sad.
Although one of them gave me a limp for life, so
that's true. That's true.
So as we see the sad, hungry but pathetic, gooey skinned ghouls kind of collectively go, "Oh," the buildings. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute bio break.
Sounds good.
All right, so you've successfully navigated multiple obstacles, and this is beginning to feel like playing Oregon Trail. And you pull away from the town, Ghoul Town. You pull away from Ghoul Town. And a short time thereafter, Erik switches places with Torg. You stop for a little bit, you walk around. You'll have to, it's a road trip. This is where you would eat your beef jerky, have a peppermint. You have snacks. And as you continue to drive, there are a couple of moments where Nevad is alone relatively alone, but able to talk to Erik. And is there any conversation with that pair of people?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Erik. Hey, you remember a while back, and there was the shootout, and we met the White Rabbit, and that was Karen.
Yeah, that was
The
Karen.
first Karen.
Yep, the first Karen. Is there a question, or you just want to reminisce?
I don't know how to ask it. Well, look, I don't know. You seem like you've had some interesting romance stuff happen.
Interesting is certainly a word for it. What do you ask me? Anything? What do you want to ask?
Well, just are you and Karen going to get back together? The first
No.
Karen? But you don't want to kill her anymore.
No.
So what changed?
Well, first she started to sleep with my brother, and then she left me, and then they both tried to kill me.
Right?
I assume you're asking what changed from when we were originally together.
No. What changed from when you wanted to kill her to now you don't want to kill her?
I saw God.
Oh. Whoa. I didn't even think about that.
Not
Okay.
everything is as important as you think it is, man. Not you, but like as one thinks it is. I mean, it was pretty bad and it was pretty important. And it made me really, really mad. And it made me hate myself and my life and question everything that ever happened to me. But then I realized it's just one rabbit and one dead brother. And life is pretty short. And all I'm hurting is me.
It's pretty good advice.
Plus, I get to kill a whole bunch of people on the regular, so that keeps me pretty occupied and allows me to get some of my wiggles out, so to speak.
Do you enjoy killing people?
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
It's not watching them die; it's knowing that I can kill them.
Sure. Okay.
I learned something. I learned how to do something really good. And when you learn how to do something really, really good, and you do that thing, that is the universe speaking through you.
Yeah. It's like me and my powers. I don't always understand them. But like, look, come on, you can't do it.
No, I can't. I can't. But I will never tire of you trying to watching you try and light your head on fire. There's almost nothing that amuses me quite so much as that.
There is up ahead is where you're going to have to reroute the cables. So you pull over, you check the map, probably with Goldwater tends to man the giant unfolding maps. He seems to have a supernatural ability to fold them back up, which is, I think, a genetic trait. And you find the right juncture. And same deal, you're going to have Erik do the climb. You're going to have Torg hand up from below and the other two of you on guard.
Yeah, that probably makes the most sense.
Okay. So as you're doing this, the intensity of the energy arcing through the clouds becomes more intense. So there may be a storm at some point. You're not even sure what kind. And even though it's late afternoon, it's pretty dark. It's like twilight out because of the clouds.
Hey, you guys might want to stay in the car.
Okay. It's going to be bad.
Well, I mean, this stuff doesn't hurt me, but it sure as hell hurt you.
Yeah.
And I can't do this all by myself.
Take the Commander Kid communicator.
Well, if Torg stays outside to help Erik, the two of you can get into the car and you can keep the motor running because Navad could be in the seat. Now, the other thing I assume would be in the back would be extra gas. So try not to get shot through and through. But as we know, gas tanks don't explode. I think Hollywood's generally figured that out finally.
Yeah.
All right, so off you go. It takes you again about a half an hour. And again, it's a little nervous because you feel that impending storm, but it doesn't start. So while you're all doing the anxious, almost clock watching, connections made, you check the connection, it's totally fine. So you've rerouted the way the cabling will go to make sure that you can hit all of your allies and you can keep going. Off you go. About 15 minutes out, a storm begins. The storm has a little light rain. There's a lot of that arcing. So this doesn't look like any storm that you've seen. There's a lot of different ones. There's one of the things happened when the bombs fell and so forth is all kinds. You think weather's crazy now. Oh my God. So once the storm kind of takes hold. The next thing that happens is the car locks up and stops.
Navad do that? Torg Hope?
Not on purpose.
Erik and Goldwater, your physically larger weapons. So the well, not the SMG so much, but the shotgun tubes and Karen, they stick to the sides of the van.
Well, that is an interesting development.
This appears to be a mag storm.
Okay.
What do you do?
I'd advise everybody to take off anything metal that they seem to be wearing, unless you want to be stuck to the inside of the van.
So it's strong, but it's like rare earth magnet strong. Like you can pull it off with a little bit of, but things that have to metal mechanical contact will lock up. So like you're able to start the van back up, but very quickly it'll die again. And you check your weapons, and they're not going to be reliable. There's too much metal to metal, and they are currently very intensely magnetized. So trying to fire, even for the gunslinger who normally wouldn't get backfires or jams, the gun might just blow up, right? Because it's going to not release properly. Like, especially considering your skill, Erik, you look at it like this is not functioning properly.
Okay.
So do you all remove whatever metal you have?
Yeah.
So Torg, your big weapon isn't metal. It's a often described cinder block on a stick. No fucking metal, just all weight. So what have you got on you that is not metal? Clearly the mage has weapons of arcana that aren't inherently metals. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, the big basher will work fine. Clearly. Stabbers will be fine because there's no metal to metal. I mean, yeah, they're a little weird because they're magnetic, depending on what you're fighting against or with. But the fact that it's a magnet now doesn't matter. So what have you got on you?
I have a stabber.
Okay.
I don't have one on my character sheet, so I don't think I have anything.
Okay, so there's got to be something in the van you could use. So what do you think? Like, picture electronics, fix it, repair van. Like, what would you find?
I'm gonna like a hefty wrench.
Okay, yeah. So that would be
Basher.
Yeah. You could even find a big basher if you want. I mean, Torg has special feats that raise the damage of her basher to ridiculous fucking levels, but you could still get a big tool, I think. I can't believe I just said the sentence. You just
no, I think I'll just use like a large hand wrench.
Okay, cool. And that's for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask something really dumb. Aren't tools made of metal?
The only problem is if it sticks to something, the guns are a problem because they have interior metal to metal mechanical.
Oh, gotcha. But wouldn't it be trying to fight itself to go to the wall?
Well, yeah, but again, it's only like a powerful rare earth magnet. So even if it does, these aren't like miracle.
Okay,
It's not like, what was that what is that horrible Fast and the Furious, that last movie where they had magical magnets that were throwing cars around they're not that strong. They are strong enough though that like your guns and stuff in the car aren't going to work right. So no, you're okay.
Okay.
All right.
They're not ICP magnets. They're just
They're
regular
They're not pulling you down the road.
You know how they work.
There's no threat, but the problem is you can't drive for a while. So what do you do?
To Torg, it seemed like only option is to wait out.
Yeah. You're
Erik,
waiting in the car, right?
you have any cards?
So everybody basically
No.
stays in the van, keeps watch, but just spends the time and watches the storm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
Torg actually, Torg not glad this happened, but Torg feel like everyone agree with Torg when Torg say that not many dull moment in our life. And Torg really was waiting for a spell and a break and a stop. Really? To well, Torg needs to unpack literally and metaphorically a very special treasure Torg has, but Torg wanted to do it with family present. And with no danger around, Torg feel maybe this perfect opportunity. And that's when we see that Torg's been carrying around that case that Torg got from Torg's the Colt of Torg. I can't remember the name of them right now.
Their current incarnation is called the Knights of Torg.
That's right, the Knights of Torg. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what they call themselves. The Knights of Torg. And puts a box down and waits for people to ask questions instead of continuing to speak.
Colt, I'm sending you a picture. See if you can display it for me. It's on Facebook. Thank you.
What's in the box, Torg?
There you go. And the mighty Colt, when he gets a chance, will display the box.
Just to see what this is.
Torg curious if family remember much about the Knights of Torg.
Well, I mean, you know, they helped us save Bastion.
Well, Torg more curious if family know the importance of this beautiful logo to the Knights of Torg.
Citrus Caesar.
I know you were looking for Citrus Caesar for a long time.
That means I came, I saw, I drink. I don't know.
Well, Torg mind just blown. Torg not know that stand for anything. Torg have to rethink so many things, but Torg go on. Goldwater. Correct. Torg has been searching for Citrus Caesar. Torg not be honest as to why, though. And Torg found out that Knights of Torg knew this, internalized this, and set up the first Knights of Torg kingdom in the last remaining Citrus Caesar. And that is where Torg found them. And they gave Torg this treasure. According to the Knights, this is last remaining original artifact from the last Citrus Caesar. Torg tried to keep light, and Torg very happy right now. Torg life before, not great. Torg lost family, but Torg move on and find new family. But Torg always remembers Citrus Caesar, because Citrus Caesar was one thing that Torg remember parents speak of so fondly, and how it would mean everything to Torg parents to be able to show Torg Citrus Caesar. And Torg always hoped that maybe while Torg not need original family, maybe Torg finds some sign, if original family around. But Torg know now, Torg not need it. But Torg want to share it with current family. So Torg not open yet. Torg want to do with family present.
It's an honor, Torg.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Mighty nice.
Torg think it's better to share wonderful thing, correct, than be sad and alone with wonderful thing. That make no sense. Wonderful thing for sharing and happy.
Well, I'm excited.
Yes.
Okay. Before Torg open, Torg want to hear everyone's guess as to what might be in magical Caesar treasure.
A t-shirt cannon with t-shirts.
Oh, Torg not think of that option yet. Torg like that.
I think maybe possibly like the secret recipe powder for the drink. That if we could replicate, we could have Citrus Caesar anytime we wanted.
And churros.
A Citrus Caesar and a churros would be pretty great.
Torg
would be.
changing Torg guess to Navad guess. That's what Torg wants to be in cooler.
I'm going to go ahead and say human head.
What's in the box, Torg?
Torg not understand that reference. Because Torg lived eons after said reference existed.
Fair enough.
I just mean, as containers go, something that might fit neatly inside of it is a human head.
He's not wrong.
True. Not wrong. Well, shall Torg?
Yes, please.
For sure.
Torg very, very, very delicately as is possible for Torg, slowly opens it as to not harm the cooler and the treasure cooler in any fashion.
Make a reaction, Seth.
Everybody.
Just Torg.
All of us?
Oh, just
Yeah,
Torg.
Torg.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. Just okay, all right. Why are you still growling, Juniper? What happened? Did she
Baby
not go to
Rip.
the bathroom? Sorry.
Good.
Baby.
Our dog is just like being like grumbly, curled up all cute. Hey, back on it. All right, you want Torg to make what now?
Reaction save.
Okay.
Against a 4.
Here we go. Here comes the cat bowl. Here comes the cat bowl.
Yes.
So yes.
Torg could get 2-4.
So you step back, and the top of the thing is thrown back, and a rapidly inflating something emerges from the chest. And at first it looks like maybe a raft, but it's not. It's a kiddie pool, and it's about, standard kiddie pool size. And then boom, 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 an inflatable palm tree comes up. And music starts playing off of an embedded musicer, and it's crackling over the little speakers, but it's basically a crab catcher, relax in paradise, kind of like summer fun song. And a voice says, "You have won the Summer Sun Slamtastic Mega Party Fun Pack." And inside the chest is Summer Sun Slamtastic Mega Party Fun Pack gear. So you've got like little caps, you have frisbees with the logo on it, you have a couple of little bobbleheads, you have a lot of branded pens, you have flip-flops, t-shirts, and a cannon. So the t-shirts are all wrapped up so you can throw them in the t-shirt cannon.
Wow, I nailed it.
You were so. How is it possible?
And there's a 6-pack of limited issue Caesar Splash in cryo flasks, which keeps the drinks cold. But because of what happened, they are still good. So there are 6 remaining Caesar Splash drinks, which will be eternally cold until they're opened. You have a fully usable 6-pack. These are a little like a nasty, like an Orangina, but like also like a wine spritzer. So like a real terrible, like somebody made Crystal Pepsi alcoholic kind of thing.
Ooh.
Okay. Do not do that to Orangina, because I love me some Orangina. So
It's like
that's
Zima
some
with
very rude
tang in
shade.
it.
Maybe you might like it. Maybe it's a super potent Orangina is the way to go for Torg. So all this,
Orangina's good.
depending on
Don't
your,
speak as if Orangina is trash. Orangina is very expensive.
I can't drink any carbonated sugary beverage without, down that road lies, not good for my insulin. So there is, depending on how you look at it, a whole bunch of ancient crap or a treasure chest of wonders.
Oh, well, Torg is clearly crying with joy. Torg is just like overwhelmed and just goes, next to becoming Barrett, this best day Torg life.
I did not see that coming.
I did not see that coming either. Goldwater saw it coming.
Apparently, he saw it coming.
That's
Torg also now convinced that Goldwater has powers.
It just seemed like it was marketing material, and a t-shirt cannon would be effective. Effective
Marketing material?
Yeah. I like this song.
pretty good
We're
song.
in paradise.
Goldwater's a Jimmy Buffett fan.
On the coast of the Mediterranean.
Colt, I sent you the logo.
Torg, say sing louder! Torg, like!
Caesar
So
in
what do you
paradise.
think? At the bottom of the cooler, there's also a stuffy that's like a little Caesar with an orange head. And with like the little felt, the little felt crown. Yeah, okay, definitely that's in the bottom of the cooler.
This is outstanding.
I don't think there could have been a better result from opening that case.
That's really good.
Torg, no. Torg should probably save drink for special day. But Torg been searching for so long. Torg feel like no harm in trying one and saving rest for maybe take back and figure out recipe and we try to make, but at least Torg feel important that Torg share one of these delicious elixirs with Torg family.
So you get to experience the not something, commonly found in the wasted world, that very satisfying and it's cold, like the flask
And Torg is just weeping, like tear, but like smiling, but it's just coming down Torg's face like a waterfall, and like smiles, just like, this is the best day. Because it's pretty miraculous. It's something very few people in this world have ever experienced.
The chance that you,
if any,
a promo nuclear fizzy orangina holiday drink, is the chances are close to mathematical zero. So you share a sip with your friends. I'm trying to imagine to people that have not had like a carbonated, sugary, orangey, like what that would even be like. I mean, there are stories of like certain islanders where we took, I know Coke for a while was taking something. They're like, what is this? I imagine there's like a little of that. Like, it's
for sure.
I mean, given our
absolutely.
that one of our delicacies is basically drinking fermented trash bag human poop, like, you know, that you actually drink this, it probably is the best tasting thing any of us have ever had ever in our entire lives.
So Torg would definitely take the first sip.
For sure.
And then pass. So
it's like it's making its way
Torg-
around that circle.
Torg handles it
start,
as if it's like a very gentle, like delicate, like trophy, like very precious.
It's like
as
Eucharist
precious as
wine.
Torg
Yeah,
can be.
yeah.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I would start pounding the seats of the truck and being like, toast, toast, toast.
All my trials and tribulations.
Torg, raise Torg glass to Torg family.
Oh, they're plastic Roman orange mugs.
Crushing curse under our feet and restoring Goldberg.
Who's
Goldwater.
Is Goldberg next? Who's next?
Everyone's next.
Goldwater America.
I kind of love it. Jen, it's your call, but I kind of love the idea that Torg is a lightweight.
It gets wasted off of
a wine cooler. I like not even a quarter of a wine cooler.
I have an idea. So Torg takes it, puts it to Torg's lips. And just silently, with like brain melting, like Torg is stunned into silence, and then just shakily hands the bottle over to the next person.
So I had a combat encounter here. The combat encounter reads the room and decides not to step on Torg's scene. So they're waiting in the wings and they start to move forward and they go back. They leave.
With the van is like such that they're like, nothing important's happening in there.
They turn, do we really need this? No, Croc, no.
While we're all happily singing a Jimmy Buffett song and drinking orange.
Let them have this. All right, so the giant two-headed boar people disperse and you don't even see them. You enjoy the treats from the cooler and the revelation of Torg's mystery and the end of their quest. And
Hey, Mike,
yeah,
this does seem like a good moment because I did grab some gifts for people from Myrmidon.
Ooh.
I know I can't top what just happened, but while we're passing around, I have some. This seems like an appropriate time. I have some gifts from the Myrmidon warehouse that I'd like to give out now.
you know, Mr. Tribe, we have not been keeping super careful track of time. It is absolutely possible you could look up on the calendar in the van and discover it is Christmas.
By the way, it's Christmas.
Yeah, you could like literally.
Oh.
I have gifts for everyone, but I haven't had a moment with everyone. So I'll take care of you three now. Lord Navad, I got you this notepad and pencil. I feel like you have a rich inner life that you need to get out. And I'd also like to say I got myself the same thing.
Nice.
So that we both can try to figure out who we are.
Write down our stuff.
Yes. And if you ever want to talk about what you've written, I'm here.
I'd like that.
Torg, I found these glowing light up bracelets and necklaces. When I saw them, I thought of your braid. And they turn off and on. You can give them different patterns and different colors. I know today there's a lot happening today.
Torg too much. Torg, thank you.
You're welcome. They seemed too appropriate. And Erik, I got you this fanny/hip pack, but I sewed a patch on it. It used to say coexist, but I got rid of the co. It seemed more appropriate somehow.
Man. And Erik, with his freakishly long arm, just kind of reaches over and puts an arm around Goldwater and squeezes back like he's never hugged anybody ever before in his entire life. And so it's just kind of a mush, like they're not facing each other. He's in the hammock. He kind of squishes them together. And then just says thank you.
It has religious symbols on it. I don't know if you saw all those.
Well, let us not forget the reason for the season, my good man.
Christmas time, a national holiday as laid out by the United States government.
Exactly.
It's Caesar in paradise, hanging out on the edge of the Rubicon.
Camera pulls back, pans over to a hill. The Boer people have gotten out their horrible, rotten fruit mash and poop that serves as liquor, and they're sharing it, and they're crying with their big eyes. And one turns to the other and says, "What? Why can't we be like that?" And the other one reaches into his loincloth and pulls out a wad of something and hands him the head of a doll. "Here you go. For a wasteland freak, you're kind of handsome, and I'm happy to be terrorizing the locals by your side. I just can't." And then the camera goes up, and there's a single star shining in the sky. I had one more encounter left after the fight, but it's a bummer. So fuck that.
Good.
I'm gonna end it here on a deserved. Literally, one of the player characters had to say, "You know what? We kind of run from disaster to disaster. There's never even a pause. Fuck." So wait a minute. I play Santa sometimes. pause given. All right, so short session, but I think important for the characters. And let's
Yes.
throw over to Shannon for closing credits.
Yeah. Hey, we want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it. And we would like, of course, to give our usual thanks to the people who helped make it happen behind the scenes. Andreas Favis, our narrator, Sabrina Grimstad, who's doing our archiving and watching the streams and making sure that we stay within our own self-imposed canon, and the amazing mods. Breeze was in the chat tonight. Great to see Breeze. And of course, the incomparable and inestimable Colt Joyce on the tech. We really appreciate all of you. And until then, see you in the wasteland.